Hey YouTube, this is Firewizard23, and I'd like to welcome you to my latest Let's Play project. I'm actually having to do this on post-commentary because my computer is not strong enough to handle both the recording from my capture card as well as Audacity at the same time, so I'm having to record it in this way. But that's alright. There's going to be a little bit of variance from what I would say during a live commentary versus what I'm doing now, but it'll be fine. I've stayed away from doing this game for actually quite a while, only because I was just having the technological issue of how was I going to manage this, but now I think I have the proper recording setup. I know I'm saying that I couldn't I couldn't record both this commentary and the game at the same time, but I think you'll still enjoy this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I consider this game a little underrated on the GameCube. Yeah, just underrated, because it is a good game. I'm not going to stand here and say there are not problems in this game. There's quite a few problems in this game that unfortunately the sequel really addressed some of those issues, but didn't really fix a lot of the primary problems of the game. But I do like it, and I think it's got some good quality. It's got some good merit. I do like kind of the plot that goes on in this story and in this game. I like it. So, for those of you who could not guess what I'm playing, come and let's play Lost Kingdoms! Ah, yes. I got this game through a trade with my friend Ronnie in college, and I thought this game was awesome. The main character's name is Katia, but I'm going to change it to just FW23 for the purpose of this Let's Play. I do play a female character in this game. We're just going to have to go with that. But, that's okay. What's wrong with that? She joins the ranks of characters like Samus Aran, and Athena, and those other ones. So essentially, what's the main plot in this game, and I can't really read this in real time, but the main plot of this game is a giant black fog is sucking up the entire land of Ogwal, and they're not really sure why it's happening. It seems to have come really out of nowhere, and they don't know what to do. And the 5 kingdoms of this region, of the area of the kingdom of Ogwal, they have an ancient covenant where they don't talk to each other. They pretty much stick to their own lives, and they don't really deal with each other. And basically, we're going to have to break that covenant and figure out what's going on by traveling to the other kingdoms. And we'll get into more details as we go. Now, these loading screens are always kind of interesting. You can actually move the control stick here and move the now loading words as they kind of bounce around the screen. It's kind of a strange feature. I'm not really sure why they put it in. But here's a messenger running down the Alanjan Castle hallway. That's where we start out the Kingdom of Alanja. Finding the princess and saying that, the fears have come true. The black fog is completely surrounding the castle at this point. And from what people are understanding, people who go into the black fog do not come back. So this is bad. And now we're kind of remembering that our father, King Theobane, said that, we have to stop the black fog. And he doesn't want to leave the princess, but he doesn't have a choice. But he says, if you need to, and the castle's attacked, go to the treasury and get the royal runestone. And this becomes a plot point later why we only have one runestone. So you can control the cameras here pretty much at a 90-degree angle, left, right, zoom in, zoom out. I'll try to get the best angles I can as I'm playing, because it is tricky to try to figure out what's the best angle to show the action. And here's just a couple people saying, is this the end? What are we going to do? Have we angered the gods? What are we going to do? I like how they're saying it's the legend of the runestone is but a children's tale, but it's like, no, it's in the treasury. It's not a legend if it's actually sitting in the treasury. That is just fact. Maybe they don't know what kind of power it has, but there we go. Bashia is a kingdom that's referred to. I think that's the only one that's actually mentioned in the castle, the other kingdom. Other kingdom that's mentioned. Because there's Alanja where we are, there's Bashia, which is another place we'll go to. I know there's Kandaria. I say Kandaria, I guess it's Kandari. It's R-I-E it is. It's weird. You got a little mini-map in the upper right corner, which actually is pretty handy. I'll give it credit. And now the knights are kind of like, well, the king said we have to unite the 5 kingdoms, that's why this isn't going to work. And the king is currently being protected by a Lord Unther. Though he doesn't, not really a huge... They kind of set up a lot of narrative characters in this game, but they don't really play out at all. That's kind of one thing I will give this game, kind of knock the game on the story for. The main characters they establish in the game really don't come back in any capacity in the major plot. Like, we'll find them later, but they'll be dead, basically. So, it's kind of stupid. And we never really learn why they signed a Sacred Covenant. That's never really understood. It's just kind of established. The 5 kingdoms signed a covenant that they would stay independent and they would never talk to each other. And as we're heading down here to the treasury, also, we kind of missed it there's on the screen, but the knights did not let us leave the castle. They said it was too dangerous. But as we're heading into the treasury here, we'll see that up here is the declaration of the Sacred Covenant, where the Great One prescribed us to do that, to divide the kingdom into 5 realms, and each kingdom was given 1 runestone to protect. Alanja has the Alanjan runestone, which is red. So, we are down here to get that runestone to try to go save our father. They said the runestones are to protect us, so let's grab the runestone. Let's say we were to protect them because it would save us from him. Something has broken the Sacred Covenant. For some reason, the fog is appearing in the Sacred Covenant in some capacity has already been broken. It's basically, I guess, what this is coming down to. And we'll see that come to full fruition later. But as we take the runestone, we've got monsters that are being spawned by the Black Fog, which is something else that was narratively discussed. Skeletons. And a voice speaks to us saying, we are a guardian of the Sacred Covenant, and we can use the power of the cards because of that. Here's a Birdman card that we got, that was, I guess, also in the chest, is implied. Here's the Birdman, a summoned creature, as we'll find out later. It does this nice little spear stab. Pwned. But now we gotta do this first battle on our own. We draw the first 4 cards in our deck. And basically, using the game system is pretty simple. I just need to press the respective button, either Y, X, A, or B, to use the respective button as card as indicated on the right. On the left is my deck, to show the next card I'm going to use. Here I'm using just a Lizardman card to swing at the skeleton, and 3 swings takes him out. These gems that come out, you want to take these gems. Not only are they the casting power of your cards, but they also add experience points, as you can see right there, to every stone I picked up. It said 22 there. It added that experience to every card in my deck, and I believe also was multiplicative for if I had 2 Lizardman cards in my deck, it would have added 22 for each card, so 44 to the Lizardman card. It kind of keeps the experience independent for 1 card. And then it also gave individual points for the monster who successfully got the KO to that card directly. And this old woman is the one who was speaking to us earlier, and her name is Gerd. And she's going to explain to us how to use the cards, and train us in the use of card mastery. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's what we're going to go with. It's old Gerd, and Gerd stays around for both games, so we don't really know who she is. At the end of every level, we do get this little summary. We got a 5-star rating, which is the best rating you can possibly get. Always try to get a 5-star rating. That's very important. Because with a 5-star rating, you can pick 3 bonus cards. There's a random assortment of cards here from the level. Well, preset random assortment, if you may. But it's shuffled around, and you pick 3, and those are the cards you get added. Unfortunately, I missed the skeleton, which would have been the rarest pick for this level. But I did get a Birdman, and here I'm going to go into pressing the Y button, you get infos on these cards. It kind of explains how this... Oh, I didn't do it here. But essentially you can press Y to get some additional information on these cards. Birdmen are summoned creatures who do that little spear attack we saw. A fairy is a healing, another summon type creature that just heals you. Out for 50% of your health. And we get this little narrative here. Oh, you know, shit's going down and she has to run. And unfortunately, we cannot return to the Alanja Castle at this point in the narrative because the Black Fog has completely taken it over. So she left her knights in charge, and off we go with Gerd. 30 cards is the maximum number of cards we can have in our deck. And we're going to see our deck here in a moment, the cards that we actually got out of that first initial chest. Take a look here. there's some things here where it shows how well we are defending against paralysis, charm, cure, poison, stone. I've never really regarded those myself, but yeah. So there on the right are all the cards we have in our deck. We have 12. And on the left, there are all the cards we have available. When they're colorized, I have another card available. There I just added the fairy and the 2 birdmans I got in that bonus draw. So here are the card specs. So from the sword icon there, we show it is a weapon monster, and on the left side, and the fire icon indicates this is a fire element monster. The lower box here that I just moved to shows what it does. It does kind of like a swoop attack into the field, and it does fire-based damage to the enemy. On the right side of this card, we show what it is if you find this card as a monster on the field. Basically, it flies around the field and does like a dive bomb kind of attack in its flying mode. It's pretty quick, actually. Now, this fairy, like I said, is a summon type monster. You can tell by that little dragon face kind of symbol, and is a water-based card. And when you summon it, it restores 50% of the summoner's hit points. That's pretty cool. And in a 2-player game, you can't actually use this card. And based on the fact there's no information on the monster profile side, I'm guessing you would never run into that as a monster. The final kind of card is an independent monster, like this one, like this card at the end, a Man-Trap. But I just wanted to indicate here, I do have a Dragonite, who's a level 2-star monster of a water type, and he does a sword slash attack as a weapon. That's pretty cool. As a weapon type monster. But here is the last kind of monster, an independent monster. He is a wood type, based on the leaf symbol, I believe. But this monster, he summons him, he kind of crawls around the field, and he bites monsters. That's pretty cool, and he's got a pretty decent amount of hit points to stay alive. And pretty much as an enemy monster, he does basically the exact same thing. I won't be showing every single spec for every single card, but I just wanted to just show off what that is. There's the birdman we had before, and here's the Lycanthrope, who's a summon-type monster, who he does like a claw swipe in front of him when he's summoned. It's pretty cool. I'll definitely make sure I show that. So here's the first area. We're going to go to the Plains of Ruwal for our training, and like you see, you can't go back to Alancha Castle right now, but we have the 5-star rating. Let's head there. We have to complete the combat training. Alright. So now we know this character in this image is Gerd. Let's do it. And Gertz going to give us information about this area as we move along. Basically, you are entrusted with the responsibility of saving the world, basically. And Goblin, she says, are the easiest monster, and I kind of have to agree. They're pretty much the wimpiest of independent monsters in the game. Alright, a big thing on these levels. You must find every treasure chest. I cannot make that clearer. There's a Hobgoblin card. We'll keep that for later. Now, cards you find on the field, you can't add to your deck immediately. Or use them immediately, so make note of that. Don't expect to be able to use them just because you find them right off. We're going to be able to add them later, don't worry. Basically here, she just very briefly explained the use of cards, which I already explained. But here's one Goblin. You see him in the upper left corner. He's got his hit points. And his type is also displayed next to his HP bar. You see the fire symbol. He's got 20 HP. I'm going to throw my Man-Trap out against him. Now my Man-Trap, I guess my Man-Trap is a little faster than the Goblin is. He's able to do his bite attack much quicker than the Goblin can do his farting gas attack. Like I said, make sure you grab all those magic stones, because their power, the power is for the use of your cards, and it also adds experience points to every card in your deck for every gem you pick up. Don't forget to do that. Here comes another fight where we're going to have 2 monsters to fight. And here she's explaining the magic stones like I just said, but she's going to explain one additional thing, which is, suppose I have... Oh, by the way, the upper left corner, you see that purple ring? That is my number of magic stones, and you see the 10? That purple ring represents a full amount of 10. If I didn't have any magic stones and I tried to use a card, or I didn't have enough magic stones to use a card, because you can see their card usage in the lower right corner with all the other cards. If I didn't have enough, it would take away from my HP. So be careful about that. Also, you'll notice with the weapon monster like the Raven I'm using, that if every time I use it, that little flame went down on it, that's the number of uses of the card. Once the card is burned up, I can't use it anymore during this level. It's completely discarded. As for the fire that was on the Man-Trap in the lower right corner, that was its HP level when it was independently summoned. So, as long as it had any energy left, it would stay around, but once all its energy was gone, it would just die. And I know I went through it kind of quickly, but the monster I was fighting there was a Mandragora and a Man-Trap. But the Mandragora, you probably saw, I just used a Dark Raven card, and I hit it from a distance to avoid its... Pretty much a Mandragora is a bomb. If you get too close to it, it explodes and it causes damage. But I hit it and set it off from a distance. I think I picked up another Hobgoblin card there. I wasn't paying attention. But we talked to some guards there that kind of pooped. Here's a couple of obelisks that are going to display the idea of card attributes of elements fire, water, wood, and earth. And that when you use cards of a certain element, you do more damage if you're fighting the one you have an advantage against. Water beats fire, fire beats wood, wood beats earth, earth beats water. That's basically how it works. And then there are neutral creatures who aren't affected at all by elements that are purple. That have the border also indicates the attribute type as well. And purple is the border for neutral types. And here it talks about the type icon. The sword, the dragon, or a spell. I call it more a mushroom cloud for the independent monsters. Oh, did I even say that when I was over with the Mandragora? No, but basically it's that little mushroom cloud thing is the Mandragora type. Yeah, basically here it's explaining everything I said. I'm sorry if I have to go a little quick with the commentary here, and I'm not really commenting much on what's happening on the screen, but basically I'm going around the level. And this is the only episode, by the way, where I'll be doing this, because it's really not necessary later on. Okay, see that little covered wagon right there on the screen? During this battle, I'm going to use my weapon cards and break it, because there is a card underneath the wagon, and you can't use your cards outside of combat. That's another complaint I have about this game, is that you should be able to use your cards really at any time. And they did fix that in this game. So right here, you're going to see me head right over to the wagon, and I'm going to use the Dark Raven card as well as the Lizard Man to break the wagon down, because there is a card right there on the floor. I don't know if you can see it on the ground. That once this battle's over, I'm going to pick it up. For a perfect rating on these levels, you must get every single card in the level. If you're not getting a full star rating on the level, you may have not gotten all the cards. It can also be affected by the amount of damage you take during the level during battles. But there is a Mummy card, which is a card we did not have. That's good. We'll keep moving on here. Now, up here is a deck point, and I'm going to read the sign here. Deck points restore all of your HP and your magic stones. They also allow you to add cards that you found in the level to your deck directly at that point. So that's pretty nice. And there's always usually going to be one when you're nearing a boss, at least very early on in this game. Sometimes you might have several deck points in one level. So don't think that just because you're meeting a deck point, you're going to beat a boss, though very early on that is indeed true. And here Gertz talks about discarding cards. If I had a card in my hand that I didn't really want to use right then, I can hold the R button and press that respective use card. I will discard it and draw the next card in my deck. I can't use the discarded card at all in this battle. It's gone. So you have to be careful of running out of cards. Let's say, like, for example, if I didn't need that fairy card that I discarded because I had all my HP, I just went ahead and discarded it for the next card. That fairy card would come back the next time I went to a battle. So it would return to the deck, but I won't be able to draw it until then. That was amended in the second game, where they just kind of made it go to the bottom of your deck. Right, and again, make sure you get all these treasure chests. Exploration is very important, because right here is a Dark Raven card, and we'll take that. Now we're getting close here to the boss, and Gert's going to indicate that, you know, the boss of the goblins is coming up, and she's saying, you know, go kick their ass, show them what you can do. I'm going to skip them, actually, because there's a treasure chest way in that back corner I want to grab, and then head back to the deck point to restore my deck. Got a Man-Trap and a Mandragora in the back. Oh, I used my Dragon Knight card on it. Did I? Yeah, I said have my Man-Trap here. There we go. With the independent monsters, you can actually hold down the button and have the card fly farther. So it will drop and it will fall down. It will drop and it will just... it'll summon on the field. And I got hit by that Mandragora. I was trying to hit it with the Lizard Man card, and I ran right into its field of vision, and it exploded and hurt me. But there is actually a Mandragora inside the chest that I took, so let's head back to the deck point and restore my deck. We'll charge up all my magic stone count, my HP, and get my deck all beefed up. So I hope everyone's enjoying this so far. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. Despite the fact that it's not exactly perfect, I do really like this game. So hitting edit deck, on the left are all the cards I found in this mission. If I just simply hold down the button, hold down the A button on the upper left card, I can simply add all the cards and just pop them right into the deck. The only problem with this is you usually don't get cards that are completely useful for a boss fight, or even for other battles in the game. Like if I was in a total fire area that had nothing but fire creatures, and therefore the cards I'm picking up are fire cards, fire cards really aren't that useful against other fire monsters. Water cards are more useful against fire monsters. Oh, but here's boss time. It's coming up. Uh-oh. Goblin spotted us. He's giving the signal. Oh, Jesus! Oh, boy. That's not good. That, folks, is a sand golem. And it's time for boss time! Love the battle theme here. The first thing I'm doing is I'm sending out a Mandragora here, because I want to that creature get really close. Because remember, wood, which Mandragora is actually very good against that sand golem from Earth. Yeah! A lot of damage. You can see the frozen explosion. I'm using the Birdman here against these goblins. Trying not to throw a weapon card. Yeah, I'm going to use a mummy against these guys. No, the hobgoblins. But I'm going to get absolutely raped here by this sand golem because I'm stuck. I'm sending out my goblins to try to just... my hobgoblins to try to just defend him off. Walk away. But I try to go behind him, and his attack smacks me. Ah! That was such a fail. I'm amazed I do as well in the battles I do, and I really think I do not deserve. I just feel like I failed this battle. I sent out the other men. I sent out the other men. I'm just getting killed. I think the men are right there. So yeah. But I have to knock out every enemy here because he had 3 hobgoblins with him when he started the battle. The battle ends. Even during this window, when you see this monster's defeated window, keep moving, because you can still move around the battlefield and grab the purple stones, because there you see I got 77. That was added to the experience of every monster in my deck. So don't forget to do that. What I am unclear of is whether or not it actually adds... Yeah, 5-star rating. I'm amazed I got a 5-star rating. What I am unclear of is, does it add the magic stones to the cards that were used up and were no longer in my deck? That's something I would like some clarification on, and I've never gotten a clarification. I'm like, come on, Sand Golem! No! I missed him! No! They always have the boss monster in this card selection of the level bonus, and I always try to draw him, and I missed him. Ah! And no save stating in this. I'm actually using a GameCube, so I can't, like, save state and just go back and try it again. But we got 2 hobgoblins and a Mandragora. Okay, this episode has been running really long. Next, we're going to head to Gertz Apothecary. So, this is Firewizard23, saying take care and bye-bye for now, everybody.